Hey guys, working on cylinder 3. Let's give an update. I did squirt a little extra dicum. You can see by the chamber. You can see by the bowl. It's a little extra fat and thick. And you can also see it on the bore. Same basic shape though. Relatively low swirl, even though it was taken at 650 lift. Light action on the valve. You know what? We haven't been looking through the throat. We probably should do that and see if you guys can see that. Been forgetting to show you this view. Having trouble focusing on it. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, you might ask, why would I bother measuring each port and then each port through the intake? Well, part of it's my ongoing research on intake manifolds and how much it matters and how much flow balance makes a difference, things like that. Now, we're going to compare our number 2 cylinder, which we saw last video, versus our number 3 cylinder. Both of them have the really high flowing tunnel ram style ports. 323, 324. See how close they come. It'll be interesting. As far as these numbers, really close. This one tops out a touch better. Okay, no big deal. About the max lift I can get is about 750 on these. Okay. We should compare the swirl. Swirl's a little different. Doesn't really surprise me, you know. It's a different port. Core shift was everywhere. And as soon as you offset the bowl a little bit, one side or the other, completely changes your swirl curve. But at 600, 245, 2000, we got plenty either case. I'm not really worried about it. Now, does it matter what it goes through the cylinder head, or does it matter what it goes through the manifold? We'll compare them too. Okay, I like this. This is interesting stuff. Very, very similar. This one tops out around 236. This one tops out around 241. Now remember, the intake manifolds flowed almost identical, the intake ports. And in reality, number 3 flowed a little bit less at the higher lifts. And yet it still got more airflow than this one. Why? Well, it could be a couple different reasons, really. The intake ports, even though they're similar, they are not the same. And I forget which one it was. I had to add a bunch of area to one of them. But still, we came out pretty even, right? 323, 324. So you got one extra CFM on the manifold, but you got a couple extra CFM going through the entire system. Pretty cool. Okay, we'll do number 2 on top. We'll do number 3 on the bottom. We'll compare our airspeeds, okay? A little bit lower. Not much. Almost identical in reality. How about the roof? Well, this roof is a little bit slower. On both sides, very even, very even. How about our short side? Really not that much different. A little bit lower on this side. A little bit slow on this side. Fast and fast. Overall, pretty happy with the way it was. Let's take a look at the difference in the exhaust ports. Now, the exhaust ports, you know, number 2 has got a crossover. So let's actually compare that to number 1 then. Okay, so these are both very similar exhaust ports. This one is number 3. This one is number 1. How'd we do? This one's a touch lower, but enough to make me worry about it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, I didn't even bother doing the exhaust speeds because the way that exhaust is designed, even if it was really bad, I don't know whether I could change it anymore. It's already too big. So making it bigger isn't really going to help, even if it flows more. I've already been told that it actually flows more than it needs to for the application by somebody who has way more experience than me. We should compare what it did with the pipe, right? 195, 185. That's a huge difference. That's 10 CFM. In the big scheme of things, is it going to matter? You can add that into the comments. See what you guys think. All right, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Overall, I think it's coming out pretty good so far. Ton of work. Getting the valve heights just right is tough. But until you guys buy me a seat and guide machine, I got to do it this way. I know, I'm funny. All right, guys. What else we got going on today? I can't think of anything. All right, man. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.